up, everybody? Welcome to Cousins All In. It's the LA version, and I'm here live with West Coast Tone. How you doing, Cuzzy? How you feeling?
Cuzzy, I am excellent. You know I love it out here. The weather is A+. Best weather in the country. Before we get into it today, make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Every week, we're climbing the ranks.
Listen, you need to love on this guy. He's carrying the show with his picks. It's unreal. The guy's on fire. We're going to kick this off with college football. We're going to dive right into things. No playing games. We're posting late, so we got to make up for some time, and we're going to do it now. So we're going to kick it off with Notre Dame is at undefeated Navy this week. Interesting game. I think the craziest part is Notre Dame is minus 12.5. What do you think about this game? This is your type of game.
This is a very, very big game for Notre Dame. They currently sit at number 12. There's only going to be 12 teams that make the playoffs, so they really have to win a lot of games from here on out. The funny thing is they play 24 Navy this weekend. To end their season, they'll play the current ranked Army as well. Wow. Those are going to be two of the big military games on the schedule. They must win this game to continue their playoff hopes. I have no lean on this game at 12.5.
Nothing.
I can't say I do.
I would say this is like America's game. It feels like
it does.
It's the Fighting Irish versus Navy.
The Catholics and the military.
You know what I'm gonna tell you? I think this is a live wager game. I think Navy's gonna kind of start off strong, kind of control time of possession, but I think over time Notre Dame's line's gonna wear on them. And I think they're going to prevail there. But I don't have a pick for you, but I do have a pick that's going to be wild, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people, and it's college football. So make sure you stay on me here. So screw that game. We're moving on. Illinois, who is blowing minds. You know, we're Illinois guys. We're in Chicago, 2 hours south. They're playing some football. They're getting 21.5 points at Oregon. What are your feelings on that?
That is a lot of points. This is a cross-country trip. I really, I like the way Illinois is playing on defense. I will say that. Brett Bielema, known to put a really strong, stout defense together at the programs that he's previously been at.
21.5, though?
21.5 is a lot.
I mean, that feels like we can't bet Illinois games. We're not allowed to.
I don't think their offense can keep up with the Ducks. I really don't. I saw the way Ohio State, their offense kind of kept up with the Ducks, and it kind of just went down to the wire.
You think they're going to get slapped this week?
They might get slapped.
The line tells me Illinois gets slapped. I don't want it to be.
Are you going to bet it or no?
I can't. We can't.
I can't bet it.
It's illegal for us to bet on.
That's right.
We're in Illinois. We can't bet an Illinois team.
That's right.
Or against an Illinois team. It's actually, which I hate that law, but because I can go bet the Bulls, right there. But whatever. That's I'm out of my degrees. I'm not smart enough for that. So next one we're going to talk about is Missouri at Alabama. Missouri is 6-1. Bama's 5-2. Bama's looked kind of meh since their Georgia victory, and they're minus 16.5 here. I'm going to be honest. I do like Alabama to bounce back here and cover 16.5. Am I betting it? It's a sprinkle. It's not a big bet. It's not even my favorite bet. I mean, it's going to be something I do, but I don't love. And it's an ABC game. It's national. It's hard for me to get away from. What do you like?
I think that Bama matches up perfectly with this Missouri team, a team that relies heavily on a running athletic quarterback, and then obviously they've got some superstars running routes, which obviously the Bama defensive backs are just all over that type of game. Yeah. I think if you're going to absolutely pound Bama off the field, you have to be able to run the football and kind of control the clock and the game and then get the stops when necessary. I do think that Bama can cover this spread, but it's just too many points for me in an SEC matchup.
I cannot fight with that type of breakdown because I feel the exact same way. The next game I'm going to talk about, I'm going to skip the one that you have here, and I'm going to go to this one, and then we'll go to that one. We're going to talk about Washington facing undefeated Indiana. That's unreal. Indiana's undefeated. They're walking around like they're the national champions already. Okay, I'm going to let you talk for a second, and then I'm going to jump in with a passionate speech.
Listen, I really like this Indiana team. The reason I really like them is because I have fallen in love with their coach. A guy who was previously at James Madison, won a ton of games, questioned by the media about, the rise of this Hoosiers team and this offense, and he simply said, hey, listen, you want to know what I do? Google me. I'm a winner. I win games. And that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, this is a team that no one has really even talked about over the course of the last couple years, and here they are. Honestly, undefeated.
They already surpassed their win total for the Big Ten. I think they surpassed it in 5 games. They won. I think the over/under was 4.5.
Yeah, they're solid.
They're 7-0. And now that's funny that you brought me there. I'm going to be taking Washington plus 6.5. I'm going to buy the extra half point. You already know how we do it here. I'm going to have plus 7, and I'm going to be taking a money line. I like it. I love it. I love it. I love the 7. I love the 6.5. I love the money line. Tune in and make sure you're ready for a good football game, because I think Indiana fans are about to get a harsh reality check. Guys, it's been a great season, and I think you guys are going to end up being good. I love your coach. I love the identity. I love the DNA that's being put inside of you. I love everything. But I think you're going to have a reality check. Why is 4-3 Washington 6.5 point dog at your house?
6.5.
After you blew out Nebraska.
6.5.
6.5. You already know if you watch the show, 6.5 is a thing. So, what do you think? Do you like anything here?
I don't. I will agree with you, though, as much as I'm not going to go against you because of the fact that I do agree with you that the line is just too scary for me. You're looking at a huge, convincing win over Nebraska. I mean, that game was never close. They pounded that team off the field. And now they're playing against a Washington team that hasn't looked good at all since becoming in the Big Ten this year. And I mean, look at where they're at.
I just get ready for an interesting game and make sure you're ready for it, because I think it's going to be very interesting. Next one we're going to talk about, last college game we're going to discuss, is Texas is at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has somehow made a name for themselves. Nobody has respected them all year long. This school deserves all the credit they get right now. I can't go against you right now, but I will tell you Texas is going to be coming out for blood because they got slapped pretty hard.
They got slapped hard on the main stage. But I do look for them. I do look for them to play with a lot of juice this week. Arch Manning named the starting quarterback. They sat down Quinn Ewers, a guy who was a potential Heisman candidate at the start of the season.
Good move.
But I will say this game's going to be just bright lights. I love this kid Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt. One of the toughest players that I've seen in the last 10 years of watching football. I got a ton of respect for him. I do think Texas goes into Vandy, though, and I think they handle their business. 18.5 is a ton of points.
I think Texas losing the game the way they did was the best thing that happened to their season. Yeah. I think Texas is going to make it into the college football playoff. I think they're going to, and I hate to tell you this, I think the best thing that happened was them getting blown out when they did, so they can make the change at quarterback and make the next move. I think Manning is the guy that needs to be starting. He's got better legs. His arm is very similar. And Quinn's good, but Quinn, cousin.
Man, he saw the
Cuzzy, when Manning signed, you should have left. You should have just went somewhere else. I get that you wanted to play there, and I get that they probably promised you some things they shouldn't have, but
that was a huge SEC matchup, and it just looked like Ewers was not ready for the spotlight. He was just giving the ball away at will. I think Texas realizes that they're in a whole different competition level this year, and with that being said, they've gone to move on. Cousin, the Yankees and the Dodgers, it's just it's 1 versus 1. I mean, what can we say about this game?
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. Both baseball teams, the pitching staffs, I believe in the Yankees starters more than I believe in the Dodgers starters. As for the Pens, I can't speak for the Pens. I don't like either one. I heard they were getting back Nestor Cortes, and I have to check on that if that's going to actually be a thing. But
do you think, okay, let's just say they are getting Nestor back.
Sure.
Do you feel that is going to be
that's a guy that
a huge moment for them for one game?
4 innings.
Okay.
That's 4 innings, and I think the Yankees are going to win this series. They're plus 100 is the last line I saw. Wow. I like the Yankees to win it. I would like to see them go down 1 because I haven't plugged in my bet for the World Series yet. I would like to see, and I'm in LA. I can't even gamble right now. It's illegal in California to bet. But long story short, I would love to see the Yankees go down 1-0. Me fly my booty back to Chicago and catch them plus 200 because I would assume that's what the line would go to. I assume, right?
I assume the line would go to that, but I just don't know. You and I talked a lot about this. The Dodgers score runs on accident. They take walks. They have 2 outs. The next thing you know, a guy gets a base hit. They got runners on the corners and then a homer.
Pitch. And then, yeah, I can't stand this Dodgers team, and I know I'm in LA right now, and I might get electrocuted when I talk like this. They're not. The Padres were better. They were better, and the Padres should have won. I'm still, and people are saying you're just mad that they lost to the Padres. Okay, maybe. But you know what? I've wore a Yankee hat for 5 years of my life. Since you've watched me on camera, I've had a Yankee hat on, so I'm not taking it off now. Yankees win the World Series. My feelings. Game 1, though, I think is definitely, oh, God.
I couldn't be more underwhelmed with this series. I might be the only guy in the country who's underwhelmed with this series. You're looking at a Yankees team that I absolutely despise since I'm a child. And then you're looking at a Dodgers team who just they put money aside to juice up the lineup. That aggravated me before the season started. I knew that they would eventually get to this point. I think it's a little bit unfair. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But this is like Goliath versus Goliath, and I just don't like that.
It is muscle versus muscle.
I know.
Some guy told me, he said there's 4 juice heads on the Yankees, and then there's actual hitters on the Dodgers, and I can't dispute that. It is like muscle versus like athleticism.
Yeah.
It feels that way. The Stanton, the Judge. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know you're West Coast tone. Call me East Coast P. I don't know. All right, NFL news. We're gonna get into it. Broncos didn't just beat the Saints, they dismantled them. It was an absolute massacre. And I don't know how to tell you guys this, but the Saints came out 2-0, and I was like, are they legit? Like, who is this team? And now all of a sudden, they don't exist. Like, it's like, I don't understand how the Chiefs ruined their season.
The Chiefs broke them.
The Chiefs broke them.
Derek Carr out of the lineup. Even with that being said, the team just altogether has not looked good. The defense has struggled over the course of the last 5 games that they've lost. Cousin, do you think that Dennis Allen is on the hot seat to be potentially gone? Or do you think that the ownership is just kind of saying, hey, listen, our starting quarterback went down. We're going to cut you some slack. We know it's tough out there.
I think if they lose a couple more in a row, they're going to have a conversation. But I think Dennis Allen's a good enough coach to keep him around and say, okay, we're going to give you, okay, we had a bad year, big deal. We weren't expecting a big year. But just the way they came out made me feel like there was so much there. And for them to play like this now, it hurts.
They're not playing with a lot of juice, and I think Dennis Allen, who's known for being such a defensive type guy,
It doesn't exist right now.
It doesn't exist right now, and I think that's something to definitely look at.
Okay, next one. Lions, Vikings. We can say thriller. I'm going to call it ping pong match. It was like one of those Asian ping pong matches that are going back and forth. It was like, you just never know who's going to win the point, and then all of a sudden there's a kick going up, and boom, the game's over. I got to say, you probably watched a playoff game before you watched a playoff game with that one. Can we agree on that?
I loved watching this game more than almost any game that I've watched all year. The thing about these teams, though, is that they don't give up. And that's what I appreciate about them most. I think for a glimmer there, it looked like the Lions were going to gain this momentum and head of steam. Goff got in a rhythm again. Didn't throw an incompletion for, a third to a half of this whole game. But then the Vikings just kept doing what they do. They kept getting those defensive stops, dialing up a lot of blitz, putting the Lions in an uncomfortable position in the run game, and then willing their way back in.
I thought the Lions were losing that game. Full disclosure.
Yeah,
I did. I mean, I didn't bet it, but I did think they were.
The line was spot on. I got to tell you,
unreal how good they are. Those guys. I'm going to invite them over for Christmas. Packers kicked a field goal to win it. Stroud looked human.
Tony apologizes to all the people. Stroud is now, I love you, CJ, but you are now on the do not bet list as far as passing yards.
That's all it took?
After that 80-something yards.
That's all it took?
It's a second loss. That's my second only loss on a pass yard prop this year. He put 88 pass yards up on the road in Green Bay. That was disturbing for me to watch.
Game too.
Very close game. Very close game. Mixon. You had it all going on, brother. Mixon is so good. I said before the season, the Bengals are going to miss Mixon, man.
You said
they are going to miss Mixon, and they are right now. But, cousin, the main story in this game, no matter how tight it was Alexander and Diggs. Before the game, they got in a scuffle.
They were fighting.
It was some unfinished business, but Alexander got the last laugh. Diggs, 5 catches, 23 yards, and then he went to the media and he said, listen, I'm petty. I don't let stuff like this go. This is going to be a war.
We call that handcuffs. 5 catches for 23 yards means he didn't exist. Next topic. Next topic. Browns lose Deshaun Watson. Fans boo. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't like fans booing injuries. But as the iron workers that all live in Cleveland, they have no choice. They needed something different. I really wish he didn't get hurt. I wish he got benched. I think he needs to reset his mind. I think there's something missing in Watson's brain right now. And I can't tell you that I think his career might be done.
A guy who got a $150 million contract early in his career, started to play unbelievably, then got a $235 million fully guaranteed deal.
Yeah.
He's got a superstar type, girlfriend going on. I think that, I agree with you. He's mentally clouded at this point.
There's something wrong with him, and I want him to be good. And I'm pulling up something real quick. I want him to be good. I want him to be so good again because OG Deshaun Watson was unstoppable on the Texans.
He was
amazing. The best of the best. Like, I loved him. Like, I was devastated when he wasn't playing. And I get why he wasn't playing, but I was devastated. But I think it is time for Dorian Thompson-Robinson to get a go. All the other rookie quarterbacks have gotten a go. Give this guy the keys to the car and go drive.
Yeah, I could say that I think DTR is the future of the Browns. However, I do have to say to Browns fans, I can't watch a Browns game and say, Deshaun Watson's the reason you're losing all these games.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
the Browns are just not performing.
I think Myles Garrett's on his way out, too. I think they're going to trade him. But who knows? We're going to find out. Seahawks, 3-point dog, crush the Falcons. Gino, I love you, cuz. We're friends again. You made me $225,000 on Sunday. But it all got given back when the Chiefs beat the Niners. I had a even week because of the Chiefs. It's it's like peaks and valleys. But Geno Smith, you saved my week. I can say that. I love you. You look great. The defense looked better though.
We shot this show
Yeah.
last Wednesday night.
Yes.
And you picked Seattle.
Yes.
And you asked Gino for this gift.
Yes.
And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, the whole male audience that I came across in my life said, man, I love the Falcons, and the Falcons are just going to kill the Seattle Seahawks. And in the back of my head, I said, well, I'm not going to break it to you, but my cousin's all over the Seahawks, and now the 600 guys that told me they're on the Falcons, they are all mortadella.
They're mortadella. They're dead. That's how it works. Chiefs beat the Niners. Kind of went over that. The Niners, I took the Niners with the idea that Deebo Samuel wasn't going to have pneumonia and Ayuk wasn't going to get hurt. And somehow I lost my 2 best receivers, and I already don't have my quarterback. But you know what? My running back. I'm not going to make excuses. The Niners got blitzed. They left 11 points on the board in the red zone. 11.
I'm going to make excuses.
All right, go ahead.
I didn't pick the Niners, I believe, in the show last week. But then as the week went on, I said, man, that line's moving a little bit. Everybody's on the Chiefs. Everybody's talking about the Chiefs. So I went ahead and I bet the Niners. And what did the Niners do? The Niners just came out there without Deebo, who's throwing up on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then Ayuk gets a small injury in the first, and then by halftime, he's completely out of the game.
Devastated.
That kills the team so much that their primary receiver was Ricky Pearsall for the second half of that game. You are not going to win a game against Spagnuolo with Ricky Pearsall as the number 1 receiver on the team.
You're not. And not to mention, he had a drop in that game that hurt them.
Had a drop that hurt, and as you mentioned, they left a ton of points on the board.
11 points. 11.
And they couldn't get a stop when they needed to.
Screw them. Jets fail again. I'm not even going to talk about it. It takes me to the video. You bet the Jets! Like, who bets the Jets? I'm the guy. I feel like a clown every 3 weeks in a row. I bet the Jets. And I feel like I'm that video meme and it's eating me alive, but screw them.
Vegas loved the Jets last week, by the way, because they just welcomed like, hey, Devontae's coming back. And then he goes out there and gets 3 catches for 30 yards. And let me tell you, cousin, I have to ask you this.
What?
This is a controversial topic. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The ratio is almost even. If a guy played like this, not named Aaron Rodgers, they'd be on the hot seat. Is Aaron Rodgers, is he a little bit washed up right now? How are you feeling about A-Rod?
I don't know. He needs some ayahuasca. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, Russell Wilson, he played great, though. Somehow he put the ball up in the air, and it was like Jesus himself placed it into the receiver's hands. I think he blacked out. I'm worried that you might have to start liking Russell Wilson because he played great. Because that's your Geno Smith, and he looked good, buddy.
He started off slow. I see my guy Fields kind of warming up on the sideline. I got all excited, and then he was like, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to throw that fade ball hole shot to George Pickens as many times as I can. He's going to come down with it. And I never give fantasy advice. I really never do. But if you're a fantasy owner and you got George Pickens on your team, get excited because I could already see that when Russell Wilson kind of hones in on that receiver
he's
that he
treating
loves,
him like Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want that type of connection. For those of you that don't know, Tyler Lockett was Russell Wilson's deep ball guy, but George Pickens is bigger, stronger, faster. And
Man, could he jump too?
He can jump.
Holy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, Ravens look incredible. Nothing to even talk about. Ravens are like, I'm giving you like if you want a Super Bowl pick right now, and you asked me, you put a gun to my head, said bet it right now, I'm taking the Ravens plus 700 to win the Super Bowl. I love it. I think it's great.
Plus 700 to win the bowl. He likes it.
I do like it. I think I'm going to try and put maybe a 3-teamer in there with some basketball picks and try and get a hammer on them as a future. Something that pays like $5 million. I don't even know, but I need to pay big because plus 700 ain't enough juice for your cuzzy. I'll tell you that right now.
Guys, that's an interesting take, and I'm going to tell you why. Derrick Henry, 169 yards rushing in this game. Lamar Jackson threw for almost 305 touchdown passes in the game. This team looks like they could have 2 MVPs in the backfield right now. But I have a question for you.
What?
Can Derrick Henry run over the Ant-Man? Or can the Ant-Man tackle Derrick Henry?
Okay, we have
that is the $1 million question.
Anthony Edwards is a specimen of an athlete.
He is.
And he said he's never lifted weights in his life. If he lifts weights, I think that he can indeed tackle Derrick. You don't realize how athletic these NBA guys are until you're out there.
And you don't realize how big they are.
I'll tell you this. I think you could take more NBA guys and put them in the NFL and have them play than you could take NFL guys and put them in the NBA and play. That's my feelings. And I know that's going to make some players emotional. But I know the NBA guys will agree with me, and the NFL guys will be like, oh, he's 5'8". He shouldn't be saying that. I'm giving you my honest opinion. That's just how I feel.
That is how they get to it.
Yeah.
You guys do get that way. You start saying like, oh, he can run your little ass over. You know, they'll be
cool, don't. Okay, go. Whatever. Leave me alone. Herbert throws for 350. They score 15 points. That was Vegas' savior on Monday. They lost on the Ravens, but they won a lot on the Cardinals. And I promise you, a lot more people bet the Chargers than they bet the Ravens. So Vegas kind of made up for a blah Sunday, and the Chiefs win with that happening. But you know what? It's time to talk about these games, cuz.
It is time to talk about these.
We're going to talk NFL games.
Let's get right into them.
We're going to churn through these, and we're going to burn these out because we got to keep this show a little shorter. All right, here's what we're going to do. Vikings are at the Rams. The Rams are +3. What do you like? Where do you lean? Where are you at?
I told you this yesterday. Kevin O'Connell, my favorite coach in the game.
I hope people could see this before the game.
He was the OC for the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. He knows the tendencies of Sean McVay. Sean McVay knows the tendencies of him. 2 of my favorite play callers ever since I've been watching ball. I have no pick in this game because the line scares me to death. But I will tell you guys, I'm taking Matthew Stafford, 235 pass yards. And I'm taking Aaron Jones for 65 rushing yards in this game.
I'm not betting the game, but if you made me bet the game, I would lean on the Rams +3.
Okay.
That's where I would lean.
That's fair.
Next game, Tennessee is an 11-point dog at Detroit. Tennessee is terrible. Detroit just, what? Like, how do you even bet this game? Like, I know there's going to be 99 Chads running to the sports book and betting Detroit, but I don't have the balls to bet on Tennessee anymore. Do you have a pick in this?
I don't have a pick. I could see this game getting so out of hand because of the way that the Lions play D and because of the way that Will Levis quarterbacks that I could see Detroit covering 11. But at the same token, I could see Tennessee also covering 11. This is a crazy line for an NFL game.
If you were going to make me bet it, I'd take Tennessee +11. But I owe that Gia Duddy a sorry. I really do.
You want to say sorry?
Gia, listen to me, okay? Honey, listen. I'm sorry, okay? Like, I feel like you kind of hurt my man when he was like supposed to be like the man at that point. And I felt like he deserved the press and you were getting it. I was mad at that. Like, I was like, this man deserves every credit he's getting. But somehow this man has found a way to make me so mad. He's like a Temu Brett Favre. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He's driving me nuts. Whatever. I have no pick, but like I said, if I was going to make a pick, it'd be Tennessee plus 11. Next one, Ravens minus 400 or minus 8.5 against Cleveland. This is a dogfight type of game.
Yes, it is.
Do you have anything here?
I don't, but I will say, DTR, this is your time to shine. I say that because as good as the Ravens are, they're dead last against the pass. So if you're going to shine in any week and you're going to make your mark as the Cleveland Browns QB, this would be your week. I can't say that I'm going to take any props in this game.
I can tell you this. This is the game versus Roquan Smith and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The legs. Who's going to be faster? I think he's going to get a lot of rush yards here. I don't bet props, but I would love to see his rushing prop because I think he's going to have some rushing yards this game. All right, next game. Packers are at the Jags. The Jags are plus 4. And I'm taking the Jags plus 4, and I'm taking the Jags money line. And you can make fun of me. I get it. No problem. The Jags are going to win this game, and I feel very good about it, and I feel very confident about it. And I don't know how you feel about it, but
I'm going to lay off the Jags because every time I touch the Jags, they absolutely pound me in the worst way, and I want you to win. So what I am going to do is I'm going to give you Jordan Love for 250 passing yards in this game.
He'll be playing from behind.
I think this is Jordan Love's real comeback game from the injury. I think he's been kind of knocking off the rust. Last week he looked decent. He threw 2 picks.
They won last week, though.
They won.
They're like, I think they're going to go into this a little too confident.
They might.
Yeah.
But I look for him to pass.
I can see that. Playing from behind. Next game, Colts are plus 180 at the Texans. Texans are minus 220 or minus 5. I'm really conflicted on this game. I don't have a pick. Do you?
Texans, do yourselves a favor. This is an easy win if you run the ball. Joe Mixon, 65 yards rushing. Joe Mixon, you better have your way with this Indianapolis Colts rushing D who ranks dead last in the league. It don't matter if DeForest Buckner's out there. The other guys are absolutely piss poor. Run through this team.
You know what?
Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to take the Texans on the money line.
Let's go.
I rarely take a minus 220, but after a loss, after a bad game by the quarterback, after a game that I feel that Miami stole or lost to the Colts, and the Colts didn't win it. They lost it.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Texans on the money line. Next game, Jets are minus 310 against the Patriots. I'm not going 4 times in a row. I'm not. I don't even want to discuss it.
I'm staying off this game. All I know is there's some type of animosity going on between Bill Belichick and the new coach. Gerard Mayo called the Patriots soft, and Bill got all upset. And then he felt the need to chime in. Oh, that was the number 1 rushing D in the league last year.
That was the same guys, and they were number 1 rushing team when I was there.
It's just so petty. I wish he'd just stay in his lane and go on Pat Mack and do your thing, buddy.
I like petty.
Let Gerard coach. Let the Patriots suck. Let me get through this season. Thank you.
I like petty, though. Next game, Eagles are at the Bengals. Bengals are minus 2 or minus 125. I'm taking the Bengals minus 125 here. I think the Eagles go down. And I think this is where that time of year where the Bengals actually start to play football.
Eagles 4-2. They suck. Bengals have a losing record. I don't even know what it is at this point. Or maybe it's even, whatever it is. They suck too. I'm off this game. Next game, Falcons. It's a divisional game.
This is
Falcons
your game.
minus 140 at the Bucks. Falcons minus 2.5. And as I always tell you guys, if it smells like provolone, leave it alone. And this one does smell like Prove, Cuzzy, but I can't keep my hands off of it. I'm taking the Falcons on the ML, on the road, and I love this bet. Kirko, 235. You know when I bet Kirko, he comes through. Kirko, I'm rooting for you big time this week, baby. 235 against that absolute poverty secondary that the Bucks put out there.
Great rush, though. They have a great line, I'll tell you that.
They do.
Okay, next game. Cardinals are at Miami. Miami's minus 180. They've played absolutely terrible, but they have Tua back.
They do.
I don't have a pick in this game, but I'm going to assume that Tyreek Hill gets going. I can see the Cardinals scoring points. I don't know why. If I had a lean, I'm going to lean on that over 45, but I just don't have a pick in this game. So don't take anything I say serious. I'm going to let Anthony take this over.
Tua, put the Guardian on your head. It doesn't matter if it looks bad. Put it on. Protect yourself. And I'm going to take the Parm Reggiano, and I'm going to sprinkle it. And I'm going to take Miami very, very light. He is back in the lineup, I believe. If he's not, that's why I'm telling you to take it light. I like Miami on the money line in this game at home. I think they possibly find their identity with him back in the lineup. They throw the ball for some good yardage against the Cards.
I can't bet this game. I just can't. Every time Miami's like my kryptonite in every sport.
I know.
Next game, Bills minus 160 or -3 at Seattle. Seattle with a big win. I think people are going to be hot on them. I'm not betting this game, but I can tell you this. I could see it be a high scoring. I could see the scoreboard all the way up there in this game.
I could see that as well. I could see this being a back and forth like you wouldn't believe, especially with Buffalo at -3 at home. Essentially, they're only getting the home field advantage.
Yep.
I am going to give you guys a running back that I can't stand betting on. I hate the way he runs the ball, but I'm going to take James Cook for 50 rush yards in this game.
I think that Buffalo, if they do want to win this game, they'll get the ball to James Cook in the run game. If they line up and they try and make Josh Allen throw the ball 35, 40 times in this game, I think they could get caught with their pants down.
That is crazy, and I'm kind of excited that you took that. Next game, Saints are plus 260 at the Chargers. It's minus 325.
I'm conflicted because the Chargers haven't looked great, but neither have the Saints. This is a no bet for me. I want nothing to do with it. Do whatever you want. This is a game that you start betting because you're down or you're up and you're bored. That's what this is.
Do you know that the Chargers are minus 325 on the ML in this game?
It's crazy.
And do you know how much I want to pound the Chargers in this game, but I won't? Because that 7-point line, I just can't be confident enough about it with the Chargers scoring 15 against the Cardinals when they threw for near 400.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a line, and I don't think anybody's going to be surprised about the next one here. Chiefs are minus 470 at the Raiders. The line's 10.
Oh, no, you're not going to do it, are you?
No, I'm taking the Raiders plus 11, minus 125.
Oh, he did do it.
I'm taking it plus 11, minus 125. I know. I had a guy in my ear yesterday who I love. His name's Christian. He said, please, I'll pay you to stop betting the Chiefs. And I said, keep your money. I'm just going to keep doing it. I like to torture myself. You don't have to bet what I'm saying. You don't have to take every game that I'm into. But I'm taking it plus 11, double-digit conference rival in Vegas. And I know it's going to be Chiefs Kingdom there. I get it. But I think they can get a cover here.
It's a divisional game.
Yeah.
You know in these divisional games, guys, that it doesn't matter who's coming into the game, whether it's the biggest team in the game or the smallest team in the game, they always somehow try and keep it close. I've seen the Chiefs kill the Raiders, but I've also seen the Raiders hang in games that they're not supposed to with the Chiefs, so that wouldn't surprise me. Next game, Carolina plus 350 at Mile High. Broncos minus 9.5 in this game. Do you have any feeling on this game?
I want nothing to do with it. Do whatever you want.
I do look for the Broncos to come at Bryce Young and absolutely crush Carolina. 9.5 is not enough for me with the Broncos. I can't say that I could do it. But I will give you guys another rushing prop. Javonte Williams, 50 rushing yards in this game. Carolina is maybe the worst team I've ever seen against the run. It's like every time you run the ball on them, the opposing team gets 6 or 7 yards. I've never quite seen anything like it.
It's unreal because I've watched it too. It's kind of disgusting. But next game, the Bears are minus 140, and they're playing Washington. I'm on the Bears this week. I love the Bears on the money line. I am a Bears fan. Bet with however you want to bet, but I'm taking my Bears to run over Washington. I think they're going to win this game, and yes, it helps that there's some injuries, but I love the Bears here. What do you like?
Like a true Chicagoan,
Yes.
I am on the Bears, and I'm also going to pull out that prosciutto di Parma, and we're here in LA. We were in Beverly last night. We ate a beautiful prosciutto di Parma. It got me so jacked up that I got to take the Bears on the money line, slice that real thin with Cousins 235. That's going to pay out 220. I absolutely love that. Cousins 235 and the Bears on the money line in Washington.
Wow.
I absolutely love this pounder, ladies and gentlemen.
That's your
I
prosciutto
really do.
pounder
That's
this
the
week?
prosciutto. I love
That's
it
the
so
prosciutto
much.
pounder. I love it. All right, next game. Dallas is at San Francisco. San Francisco is minus 190. Both teams need Jesus. And I'm not interested in betting teams that need the Lord. So you can do whatever you want here. The over-under is 46. I have I have nothing for you here. There's usually times where I can look at you and say something. I'll definitely be watching it, but I have no lean, no anything. Do you?
If Mike McCarthy's been catching strays all week, if they don't come out and they don't play hard in this game, I really could see that transition into him being gone. But the line is too weird for me. San Fran -4, hosting Dallas.
Getting 3 points for being the home team. So
Correct.
technically saying they're a 1-point favorite.
Right, and they're hosting a Dallas team that has looked like they should be playing in the XFL against whoever the hell plays in that league. But I can't bet this game because Dallas's back is against the wall. They have to show up in this game, and the Niners really do too, and that line scares me.
It does scare me. That's why I'll watch, but I want nothing to do with it. But I do want something to do with the Monday night game. The Giants are facing Pittsburgh. I've got a girl that I'm friends with. Her name's Amanda. Amanda's a die-hard Steelers fan. She's dating a guy that I'm friends with. His name's JoJo.
We love you guys.
We love them. They're great people. Amanda's like, hey, post my win. And I was like, no. She's like, no, come on, post it. Come on, have some balls. I was like, no, I don't think you're that good. So with that being said, I'm doubling down on this idea that Pittsburgh's not that good. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Giants plus 6.5, and I'm going to take them on the money line. For some reason, I think Pittsburgh's going to lose. I think people are way too hot on them. I don't think the Giants are that bad. I think Neighbors comes back, gets some yards. I like the Giants here. I'll probably buy the half point like I always do. On a 6.5-point line, I take the 7. So I'm going to take that. Take it with a grain of salt. That's how I'm going to end that with all these games. And I'm going to put together a parlay for you while he talks about it.
The G-men at Pitt, it just seems like Pitt can just take control of everything the G-men do on offense. I feel like their defense can just come at whoever the Giants have out there, whether it's Daniel Jones or whether he gets benched halfway through. I know he's going to be starting this game. I feel like the Giants are in limbo with their identity and who they are, who their coach is, who their quarterback is. They got rid of their running back. I just don't have confidence to bet this game. Especially I want to root for you because you're on the Giants.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could see Pitt's D just taking this whole game over as they much did last week. I'm going to stay away from this game, but I'm going to tell you what, the over-under at 36 is something to keep your eye on as the week progresses. I think you might be able to find some value in the under if you get some reverse line movement on that over-under, depending on what the public's on. But, Cousin, do you have that par sparked up and ready?
I have a parlay. My parlay is so special, it pays 20-1 this week. And I want you to take it because I love this one. And I'm going to hammer it. I'm putting 100,000 on this myself. So prepare for something fun. Here's what we're going to do. Jaguars on the money line. Bengals on the money line. Bears on the money line. Raiders plus 11. And then we close it out on Monday Night Football. Giants plus 7. And that pays almost 21-1. Lock in. We appreciate you watching. And we're done, guys. We're going back. I'm going to shop on Rodeo. It's done. I'm going to meet the wife. We're going to have some fun. Blow my wallet. I need to make some money.
Cousin, we love you guys. Until next time, we will see you. Like, share, subscribe. We're out of here.
Goodbye.